Hey there, my fellow treasure hunters and couch change checkers. Grab your coffee, kick up your feet, and whatever you do, don't spend that change in your cup holder just yet. Why? Because sitting in your pocket right now could be a tiny metal jackpot worth $1 million. And nope, I'm not talking about gold bars or rare diamonds here. I'm talking about a 1983 Washington quarter. That's right. 25 cents, that could make you a millionaire. I know what you're thinking. There's no way a regular OL quarter from 1983 could be worth that kind of money. Well, buddy, buckle up because we're about to deep dive into a coin that's hiding in plain sight. You might have spent one last week on a bag of chips, and if that's the case, well, sorry, that's one expensive snack. In today's episode, we're going to look at how this little coin went from soda machine filler to seven-figure legend. We'll talk errors, mint marks, history, value, and I'll share a wild story about the time I almost lost one at a car wash. True story. So sit back, relax, and let's get into this million-dollar mystery. Let's rewind the clock to 1983. We're talking pre-internet, pre-smartphones, and gas was under $1 a gallon. Simpler times. Ronald Reagan was president, Return of the Jedi was killing it in theaters, and the US Mint was cranking out coins like they were going out of style now. The 1983 Washington quarter was part of the regular circulation coins. It was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark. No one thought much about these coins at the time. It was just another quarter with George Washington's serious mug on the front. But here's where things get spicy. Due to budget cuts and changes in the minting process, no uncirculated mint sets were released to the public in 1982 and 1983. That meant collectors couldn't get pristine versions of these coins straight from the mint like they usually could. So, if you wanted a shiny, perfect 1983 quarter, you had to fish it out of circulation. And that was like trying to catch a clean fish in a muddy pond. Most of these quarters got tossed in vending machines, dropped under car seats, and battered by pockets full of keys and pocket lint. Which brings us to the magic word of the day, condition. And now, not all 1983 quarters are created equal. If you've got a beat-up one that's been through the spin cycle, hate to break it to you, it's probably still worth 25 cents. But if you've got one that's in mint state, particularly MS67 or higher, that's where the fireworks start. That bad boy was nearly flawless. No scratches, no wear, just crisp edges, sharp details, and luster that could blind a raccoon. These ultra-high-grade coins are super rare because, again, no mint sets were made that year. Most people spent these quarters like any other. So finding one in perfect condition? That's like spotting Bigfoot at a Starbucks, and if yours has certain striking errors, like a double die or off-center strike, then baby, we're talking even more money. That's the kind of coin that gets auction houses sweating and collectors emptying their retirement accounts. Alright, story time. So picture this, it's 2010. I'm driving my old Honda Civic to the car wash. I'm digging around for quarters, because, of course, the vacuum machine only takes coins. I find 4 quarters in the center console, and one of them looks kinda sharp. Like, shinier than the others. I remember thinking, hey, this one looks new, but I was in a rush, so I fed all 4 into the vacuum machine. 2 minutes later, the vacuum cuts off early. I'm mad. My car's only half clean. So I look down at the machine and what do I see? The shiny quarter hadn't dropped into the coin slot, it got stuck on the edge. I pull it out. Curious now. I look at the date. 1983, then I see the P Mint mark. I toss it in the cup holder and forget about it for months. Fast forward to one lazy Saturday. I'm watching a coin collecting show and boom, they start talking about the rare 1983 quarter. My jaw drops. I run to the car like I'm being chased by bees. Dig through the cup holder. And would you believe it, it was still there? Clean, shiny, no scratches. I send it off to a grader. Comes back MS66. Not quite $1 million, but enough to make me smile wider than a kid on Christmas morning. Always double check your change, even if you're just vacuuming your car. Make sure it's got the P on the front side, near Washington's ponytail. Check for luster, sharp edges, and minimal wear. Use a magnifier. Even minor nicks can lower the grade. Look for doubling, misalignments, or die cracks. Those make collectors drool. If you think you've got a good one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll slap a grade on it, and that's your ticket to auction riches. Also, check rolls of quarters from the bank. I know it's not the most thrilling thing in the world, but hey, if you hit the jackpot once, it'll be worth it. Alright, let's talk money. As of right now, the finest known 1983p quarter has fetched close to $1 million at auction. Most high-grade coins sell in the tens of thousands, depending on rarity and condition. Even a MS-65 could pull in a few $100. Prices have gone up fast in the past few years as coin collecting explodes in popularity. More folks are realizing that old change might be worth more than their savings accounts. That's why this is the perfect time to get into the game. The demand is strong, the supply is low, and people are hungry for rare coins, especially those from years with missing mint sets like 1983. Alright, treasure hunters, let's wrap this up. We've journeyed through history, scratched the surface of minting chaos, and even survived a tragic car wash tale. All in pursuit of a quarter that could change your life. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's this: check your change. Not just once. Make it a habit. Because coins like the 1983p quarter are out there, waiting in a coin jar, an old wallet, maybe even behind your couch cushions. And now, before you run off to tear apart your couch, do me a solid, hit that subscribe button. I've got a whole series of videos coming up on coins that look like pocket change but are worth fortunes. We're talking nickels, dimes, even pennies that could make your retirement plan look like spare change. So don't miss out. Smash that like button, leave a comment with your best coin find, and share this video with a friend who always complains about being broke, because they might be sitting on $1 million without even knowing it. Hey folks, welcome back to the channel where your pocket change might just pay off your mortgage. That's right, today we're diving into a coin that's been turning heads and emptying bank vaults, the 1997 D Washington quarter dollar. Now hold on a second. I know what you're thinking, it's just a quarter, how can it be worth over $1 million? Well, that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Because this seemingly ordinary 25-cent piece, minted in Denver back in 1997, is sitting pretty in today's collector's market with a jaw-dropping value of $1.1 million. So before you spend that quarter on a vending machine snack or toss it in your car's cup holder, watch this video all the way through. Trust me, your couch cushions might just hold your retirement plan. Alright, let's get into it. But first, quick story: about 3 years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. You know the type of garage I'm talking about, full of old paint cans, tangled Christmas lights, and enough extension cords to power a stadium. While digging through a shoebox labeled random junk, I stumbled on a pile of change. Just out of curiosity, I started looking through the coins. I wasn't expecting much. Maybe a sticky nickel or a bent penny. Then I noticed this quarter. Something about it looked crisp. Too crisp. The details were sharp, the color looked different, and it had that satisfying clink when I dropped it on the workbench. I flipped it over, and there it was, the 1997 D mint mark. Now I didn't think much of it at the time. But later that night, I looked it up, and buddy, let me tell you, my heart nearly stopped. I'd just been holding a coin worth more than my car. And my car's not even bad, so what's the deal with this 1997 D Washington quarter anyway? Why is it worth over $1 million? That little D under the eagle's tail on the back? That means it was minted in Denver. The Denver Mint struck millions of quarters that year, but this particular high-value version is rare for a few very juicy reasons. We're talking mint state. Not, hey, this looks okay, we're talking flawless condition. In the grading world, that means MS-67 or better. Coins like that don't show up in circulation often, and when they do, they're often damaged or scuffed. Finding a 1997 D quarter in pristine condition is like finding a perfectly ripe avocado that doesn't cost $6. Some of the most valuable 1997 D quarters had striking errors like off-center prints, double dies, or clipped planchets. These are coins that slip through the quality control cracks, and collectors go absolutely bananas over them. We're talking more excited than a dad at Home Depot on a Saturday morning. There are very few known examples of the 1997 D quarter in high mint state with any sort of error or anomaly. That limited population pushes the value sky high. Basic supply and demand, just like baseball cards, Beanie Babies, or toilet paper in 2020. Now let's talk market value. Right now, a verified 1997 D Washington quarter in perfect condition with unique characteristics can sell at auction for up to $1.1 million. That's not a typo. That's real money. We're talking new house, new car, and maybe even enough left over for guac on the side, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. The coin collecting world, or numismatics if you want to sound fancy at dinner parties, is full of treasures hiding in plain sight. The trick is knowing what to look for. So let me walk you through what you should keep an eye out for in your own stash. Mint Mark D, located just to the right of Washington's ponytail on the front. No major scratches, discoloration, or wear. It should look like it came straight out of a time machine. Look for doubling in the letters or numbers, weird edges, or missing details. A high sheen and crisp details on the hair, eagle feathers, and letters. If you think you've got something special, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. It'll cost a few bucks, but the payoff could be massive, and if you're unsure, hit up your local coin dealer, or better yet, drop a comment down below and let the coin collecting community help you out. We're a bunch of friendly folks who just happen to get way too excited over pocket change. So there you have it. That little 1997 D quarter that most people overlook could be your ticket to $1 million payday. Wild, right? The next time someone hands you change, don't just toss it in a jar. Take a closer look. You never know what treasure might be staring you in the face. If you found today's video helpful, entertaining, or just plain ridiculous in the best way, do me a favor. Smash that like button like you just found a rare coin in your sock drawer. Hit subscribe so you never miss a tip that could turn your coins into cash. And turn on those notifications, because you never know when I'll drop a video that could make your wallet a whole lot fatter. Let me know in the comments if you found anything interesting lately. Or just say hi. I read every comment, even the ones that say I thought this was clickbait, but now I'm checking my quarters. Hey folks. You ever go digging through your change jar, looking for enough coins to grab a soda, and stumble upon something that makes your heart skip a beat? Well, let me ask you this, what if I told you that there's a quarter from 1971, with no mint mark, that could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million today? That's right, $1.2 million for a 25-cent piece. And it might just be hiding in your loose change, sitting quietly next to a couple of nickels and that weird Canadian penny you've been ignoring for 5 years. Stick around, because today we're talking about the legendary 1971 no mint mark Washington quarter, what makes it so dang valuable, how to spot one. And yes, I'll share my own personal coin collecting mishap that still haunts me to this day. So grab a cup of coffee, or maybe a magnifying glass if you've got one handy, because we're going deep into the world of hidden treasures that could be hiding in plain sight. Alright, let's dive right in. The 1971 Washington quarter is your standard issue coin. George Washington on the front, eagle on the back, all that jazz. It was minted in huge numbers, over 258 million in Philadelphia alone. And here's where it gets interesting, the ones from Philly didn't get a mint mark. So at first glance, a no mint mark quarter from 1971 seems pretty common, right? There's one version of this coin that's got collectors going bananas. It's got no mint mark, sure, but it also has something extra special going on. It was accidentally struck on a 40% silver planchet left over from earlier coin runs. That's right, while quarters by 1971 were supposed to be made entirely of copper nickel clad, this rare version was made from silver, likely a leftover blank from the 1960s still floating around the mint. Now imagine being the poor guy in 1971 who accidentally spent that coin on a hot dog. Oof. That quarter today is worth over $1.2 million, not because it's old, but because it's rare, unusual, and silver in a sea of copper nickel. First, check the weight. A normal 1971 quarter weighs 5.67 grams. But the silver version weighs about 6.25 grams. That's a tiny difference, but it's huge in the coin world. You'll need a precise scale, kitchen scale won't cut it. You need one that goes to the hundredth of a gram. Second, look at the color. Silver quarters have a more solid, grayish-white look with no copper edge when viewed from the side. Regular clad quarters show the telltale copper sandwich strip. If yours is missing the copper and weighs heavier, you might be sitting on a fortune. Third, if you really suspect it's the one, get it graded. Companies like PCGS or NGC can authenticate it. And that, my friends, is where the magic happens. That's how a 25-cent piece becomes $1 million payday. Now let me tell you about my personal heartbreak with coins. So about 5 years ago, I'm at a flea market with my wife. She's off looking at vintage furniture, and I'm flipping through an old dealer's coin boxes. Nothing fancy, mostly junk coins. But then I spot a 1971 quarter in beautiful shape. No mint mark. Something about it just felt off. It looked a little shinier than usual, a bit heavier in the hand. He wanted $3 for it, $3, but I didn't have any cash, and I wasn't about to pay $3 on Venmo for a quarter. So I said, I'll come back. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I got distracted by tacos. And when I came back 20 minutes later, that quarter was gone. To this day, I wonder, was that the one? Did I walk away from $1 million coin for the price of a gas station sandwich? Trust your gut. And never skip tacos, but maybe prioritize coins. Well, coin collecting is booming. And error coins or unusual variations are becoming the new gold rush. The 1971 no mint mark silver quarter isn't just rare, it's practically mythical. There are very, very few known to exist. And when collectors want something badly enough, the prices skyrocket. The last known one in near-perfect condition sold for over $1.2 million at auction, and experts believe that value could keep climbing as fewer people cash them in and more collectors join the hunt. Go check your jars, drawers, car cup holders, and even those dusty piggy banks in your kids' room. Look for 1971 quarters with no mint mark. Then weigh them. If you've got one that's heavier and looks silver without that copper edge, get it checked immediately. Because the tiny piece of metal could change your life. Also, hit up local coin shows, pawn shops, and estate sales. Sometimes these coins slip through the cracks. I've seen people pick up valuable coins at garage sales for pocket change, just because the seller had no idea what they were holding, and hey, if you don't find one, don't be discouraged. Coin collecting is part treasure hunt, part history lesson, and part therapy. Plus, it gives you an excuse to carry a magnifying glass around and pretend you're Sherlock Holmes. The 1971 no mint mark Washington quarter that could be worth over $1.2 million. It's rare, it's legendary, and it might be closer than you think. The trick is knowing what to look for, being patient, and staying curious. Because who knows? The next time you dig through your pocket change to buy a bag of chips, you might just be holding the coin that makes you a millionaire. And before you go running off to tear your couch cushions apart, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Seriously, go on. I've got more coin hunting tips, hidden value stories, and wild personal experiences that could help you turn your spare change into serious cash. Plus, I promise to bring you more laughs, more facts, and fewer regrets than that time I passed up $1 million coin over $3. Thanks for watching, and remember, your fortune might just be one quarter away. You're digging through your car's cup holder for some loose change. You're late for work, coffee in one hand, frustration in the other. And bam, there it is. A beat-up quarter from 1983. You think, 25 cents. But what if I told you that this little hunk of metal might be worth more than a house? And not just any house, I'm talking ocean view, 3-car garage, pool in the backyard type of house. That's right. There's a 1983 Washington quarter dollar floating around out there with a current market value of $1.3 million. Yeah. You heard that right. $1.3 million. Today, we're diving deep into this coin. I'm gonna break down what makes this 1983 quarter so dang valuable, the story behind its wild price tag, how you can tell if you've got one sitting in a jar at home, and share a pretty embarrassing personal story that'll make you double-check your change forever. So grab that coin jar, sit back, and let's talk about how a little quarter can flip your whole life upside down. Let's start with the basics. The 1983 Washington quarter was minted in Philadelphia, hence the P mint mark. Now, most quarters? Totally average. Spendable. Useful for vending machines, and that's about it. Back in 1983, the US Mint did not produce mint sets. That might sound boring at first, but trust me, this is important. Mint sets are the polished, collector-quality coins that never enter circulation. Without those sets in '83, the only way to get one of these quarters was in change. That means almost every 1983 quarter went straight into people's pockets, purses, laundromats, or, in my case, the bottom of a rusty toolbox. So, naturally, they got beat up. Tossed around. Damaged. Very few survived in top-notch, mint condition, and that's where the money comes in. That if you have one of these quarters in pristine, museum grade, it looks like it just got minted 5 minutes ago condition, congratulations, you're looking at a quarter worth up to $1.3 million. And yeah, your brain probably just short-circuited a little, condition, baby. It's all about condition. There's something called full strike or full detail. It means every single tiny line and detail on George Washington's hair, his cheek, even the little rim around the coin, it's all crisp, clean, and sharp. Like it just rolled off the press. Then there's no mint set rarity. Collectors drool over this because it means it's way harder to find high-quality coins from that year. Top it off with a touch of historical magic. 1983 was a transition time in minting. Quality control was all over the place. So finding a flawless one? It's like stumbling upon a unicorn wearing a tuxedo, and when rarity meets condition, collectors open their wallets. One of these quarters, graded MS67, that's a coin grading scale thing, basically near perfect, sold for over 15 grand. But the rarest of the rare, an MS68 or better? That's your $1 million coin. Look right under the eagle's tail on the reverse side. If there's a tiny P, you're in the right ballpark. We're talking no scratches, no discoloration, no nicks. The coin should look like it never saw daylight. George's powdered wig curls should be crisp. His eye should have a sharp outline. The reverse eagle should have detailed feathers, like you could pluck M. Ironically, mint errors can raise a coin's value, but in this case, you want a perfect, standard quarter, just extremely well preserved. Seriously, don't guess. If you think your coin looks good, send it to a professional grading service. It's like taking your quarter to a doctor for a checkup. They'll tell you exactly how healthy it is. And now here's where things get personal. About 10 years ago, I was helping my uncle clean out his garage. He had this old dusty Folgers coffee can filled with coins. I'm talking pennies from the 40s, nickels that had seen 2 world wars, and yeah, some quarters from the 80s. He says, take it if you want. I'm just gonna dump it at the bank. Naturally, being a broke college student at the time, I took the coins and cashed them in for gas money and a burrito. Flash forward to last year when I got into coin collecting. I saw an article about the 1983 P quartered. I remembered that coffee can. I remembered at least one of those quarters having a shiny P on it, and now I lie awake at night wondering if I traded a $1.3 million quarter for a bean and cheese burrito. Always check your change. Because burritos come and go, but $1 million coins? That's the kind of stuff that buys you your own burrito restaurant. Now I know what you're thinking. Okay, so how many of these rare 1983 P quarters are actually out there? The US Mint made over 600 million of them. Yeah, million, but remember, most of them got beat to a pulp in circulation. It's estimated that only a few hundred are in MS65 condition or better. And the number that hit MS67 or MS68? We're talking possibly less than a dozen. That's rarer than a perfect slice of avocado toast. Or a Monday morning without a coffee spill. Simple steps, my friend. Grab your change jar, look through all quarters from 1983. Focus on ones with a P mint mark. Set aside anything that looks especially clean or shiny. Compare them to high-grade photos online. If in doubt, send it for grading. And for the love of George Washington's powdered wig, don't spend it. Oh, and by the way, don't clean the coin. I repeat, do not clean it. Even if it's covered in pocket lint and grandma's perfume. Cleaning it destroys the surface and instantly tanks the value. So there you have it. A regular old 1983 P quarter that could secretly be a millionaire in disguise. It's like the Clark Kent of coins, unassuming, overlooked, but hiding superpowers. You don't need to be a hardcore coin collector to find treasure. All it takes is a little curiosity, a sharp eye, and maybe a bit of dumb luck. But luck favors the prepared, my friend. So keep checking your pockets. Raid your piggy banks. And never underestimate the power of pocket change. If you found this video helpful or even mildly entertaining, go ahead and smash that subscribe button like you're pressing the gas pedal to get to the bank with your rare coin. Hit the bell icon too so you don't miss out on future videos where we uncover more coins worth real money and teach you the tricks of the trade, because whether you're a die-hard collector or just someone who likes finding gold in gum wrappers, I've got you covered. Don't be like me and trade in a $1 million coin for a burrito. Hey there, coin hunters and pocket change pros. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a beat-up old quarter in your hand and thought, it's just 25 cents? Well, what if I told you that one tiny 1989 quarter, yes, the one with a little p right above the date, is actually worth a mind-blowing $1.4 million today? That's right, folks. 1.4 million. Now, before you flip over your couch cushions or start raiding Grandma's coin jar, stick with me. Because today, we're diving deep into the story of the 1989 P Washington $quarter coin that made collectors lose their minds and made one lucky person an overnight millionaire. By the end of this video, you'll know what to look for, why this coin is so rare, and how you might have one in your change jar right now. And I'll even throw in a personal story involving laundry, lost change, and one seriously awkward moment at a gas station. You don't want to miss that. Let's start with the basics. The Washington quarter has been a familiar face in our wallets since 1932. That proud profile of George Washington, the serious stare, the stylish powdered wig, it's been around longer than most of U.S. In 1989, the U.S. Mint in Philadelphia released a batch of Washington quarters with the P Mint mark. Now, most of these are your standard 25-cent pieces. You know the kind. You toss them in vending machines or lose them between your car seats. Here's where it gets juicy. The coin we're talking about isn't just old. It's rare. And not kind of hard to find rare, we're talking ultra-rare unicorn status. Only a handful of these quarters were struck with a mintage error so bizarre and so perfect that collectors basically fought over it like it was the last slice of pizza at a Super Bowl party. Double die obverse errors. That's when the front side of the coin was struck twice, making everything look slightly doubled, like George had too much coffee. Off-center strikes, the design is literally not where it should be. George's head might be leaning left like he's trying to hear a secret. High-grade condition, that means it's been hiding in someone's sock drawer for 30 years, untouched, uncirculated, and basically shining like it just came off the press. Now, when one of these high-grade error coins surfaced at an auction a few years ago, it sent shockwaves through the coin collecting world. The bidding went nuclear and boom, someone dropped $1.4 million for it. If you're serious about finding treasure in your pocket change, here's what to look for in a 1989 P quarter. It should have a clear P just above the date. Off-center strikes are big-time moneymakers. If it looks like it's in pristine condition, it could be uncirculated, which boosts its value even without errors. You might want to grab a magnifying glass for this part. Or, if you're like me and can't see anything up close anymore, a decent pair of reading glasses from the drugstore. A few years ago, I was doing laundry. I reached into my jeans pocket and pulled out a handful of coins. One of them was this shiny little 1989 P quarter. It looked brand new. I mean, it practically winked at me. But I was in a rush. I tossed it into a cup on the counter and forgot about it. Fast forward a few days, I'm at a gas station. My card won't swipe. I'm short on cash. So I do the classic dig through the coin cup routine and hand the cashier that same quarter. I watched her drop it in the till, and something in my gut screamed, "You just did something really, really dumb." Weeks later, I saw an article about the $1 million 1989 P quarter. I looked down, looked back at the screen, and said out loud, well, I hope that cashier is living her best life. Now you might be wondering, why would anyone pay over $1 million for a quarter? Well, the coin market is just like any other collectibles market. Rarity plus condition plus demand equals value. And the rarer and cleaner the coin, the higher people are willing to go. Collectors are always on the hunt for proof-like finishes, first strikes, misprints, and mint errors. Coins with strong historical context, and when you add a perfect storm of those factors to a relatively modern coin like the 1989 P quarter, you've got a recipe for a coin that's not just rare, but legendary right now. The top-graded 1989 P quarters with dramatic doubling errors or rare strikes are fetching well over six figures. One particular quarter hit the $1.4 million mark at auction, and ever since then, folks have been hunting for another like it. If you think you've got a just normal quarter, look again. That loose change in your junk drawer might be a retirement plan in disguise. If you think you found something valuable, don't just toss it back in your pocket. Oils from your fingers can ruin it. Store it in a coin flip or plastic holder. Get it graded by PCGS or NGC. These guys are the top coin grading services, and they'll let you know what you're really holding, where you found it, the date, and any unique markings, because if it turns out you're sitting on $1 million quarter, you want every detail in order. Alright folks, let's bring this shiny little adventure home. The 1989 P Washington quarter dollar might look like your average coin, but under the right circumstances, it's a millionaire in disguise. With mint errors, near perfect condition, and the wild world of coin collectors, this little piece of pocket change can be worth life-changing money. And now, maybe you're thinking, I've got a jar full of quarters, I better check them all. And guess what? You absolutely should. Grab a magnifying glass, pour yourself a coffee or something stronger, and dive in. Coins like these are out there, waiting, hiding in plain sight. And hey, if I can almost give away a fortune for a tank of gas, imagine what treasures you might be overlooking. Smash that subscribe button and join the coin hunting crew. We've got tons more videos coming up on coins that could be worth thousands, even millions, just waiting to be found in your change jar. Like this video if you learned something new. Share it with that friend who never pays attention to their pocket change. And drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or think you might have one now. This is your coin guy, signing off, reminding you don't just spend your change, check it first. It might just change your life. Hey folks, listen up because this might be the most profitable 5 seconds of your day. What if I told you that a quarter, yep, that little silver coin you probably have rattling around in your couch cushions, is worth $1.5 million? Sounds like a late-night infomercial, right? But no, we're talking about the real deal, the 1979 D Washington quarter. You heard that right, 1.5 million big ones for a 25-cent piece. Makes you want to raid your change jar, doesn't it? And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to be eyeing every coin like it just might pay off your mortgage. Today, we're diving deep into this legendary quarter. I'll tell you what makes it so valuable, how to spot it, where it came from, and I'll even throw in a personal story involving a shoebox, a flea market, and a coin that almost got spent on a slice of pizza. So grab your favorite drink, get comfy, and let's go treasure hunting right in your pocket. So first off, let's talk basics. The 1979 D Washington quarter is part of the standard Washington quarter series. It's got George Washington on the front looking all noble and serious, probably because he knew one day he'd be the face of $1 million spare change. Now the D stands for Denver Mint. That's where this bad boy was struck. Millions of these quarters were made. And I know what you're thinking, if there were millions of them, why is one worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million? Well, it's not just any 1979 D. It's a rare breed. It's got a very specific set of conditions, like a coin Liam Neeson would describe in Taken. What makes it so valuable is a combination of a few things: mint errors, pristine condition, and collector demand. Some of these quarters were struck on planchets meant for other coins, had double dies, or had off-center strikes. And when one of those coins is in near-perfect condition, certified by top grading services as MS68 or higher, bingo! That's your golden ticket. Let's break this down. Grading is basically how the coin world tells you, hey, this quarter is fancy. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70. The closer to 70, the better. Your average pocket change quarter is like a 20 or 30. But the $1 million 1979 D? That baby's a 68 or better. That's like being the valedictorian of quarters, and it has to be flawless, no scratches, nowhere, no signs that it spent a weekend in your uncle's coin jar next to some lint and a peanut M&M. So if you're checking your quarters at home, you want to look for coins that are shiny, have full detail, and no visible damage. Oh, and don't go polishing them with a Brillo pad. That's the fastest way to destroy any collector value. Seriously, I once saw a guy ruin a $1,000 coin trying to make it look nicer. Might as well have cleaned it with a cheese grater. Okay, here's where it gets spicy: errors. Coin collectors go wild for mistakes. It's the only place in life where being wrong makes you rich. Some 1979 D quarters have been found with a double die error, where the design looks like it was stamped twice. You'll see a shadow-like effect on the lettering, especially the word Liberty or the date. Others were struck off-center, meaning the image doesn't land square in the middle of the coin. It looks like the mint had a long night and came to work hungover. A 1979 D quarter struck on a Susan B. Anthony dollar planchet. That's right, someone at the mint fed the wrong blank into the machine. Instead of a quarter planchet, they used one meant for a dollar coin. That sucker is heavier and has a different edge. Guess what one of those sold for? Yep, over $1 million. Alright, time for a personal tale. A few years back, I was at this dusty old flea market just outside Tulsa. The kind where every booth sells either rusty tools, baseball cards, or weird porcelain cats. I stumble on this little cardboard box labeled coins, 10 cents each. Naturally, I dive in like a kid in a ball pit. After about 15 minutes of sifting through Canadian pennies and bent nickels, I find a shiny 1979 D quarter that looked, different. It had a weird sheen to it, like it had never been touched. And the lettering? Sharp as a tack. My gut told me to keep it. But my stomach told me I was starving, and there was a food truck selling pepperoni pizza slices. So yeah, I spent it. I traded a potential $1 million coin for pizza. Tasted amazing, but to this day, every time I pass a quarter, I feel a deep emotional regret. Moral of the story? Always eat before going coin hunting. A standard 1979 D quarter in your pocket? Face value. Still worth 25 cents. A really nice one, let's say MS65 condition, you might get $5 to $10 for it, but a gem quality MS68 or higher with the right error? That's where you hit the jackpot. One of these rare beauties sold for $1.5 million at auction. That's not just an internet rumor. That's a real sale, verified and documented. The kind of thing that changes your life forever. So yes, it's rare, but it's out there. And there's no reason it couldn't be in your pocket right now. Start small. Grab a magnifying glass, yep, like Sherlock Holmes. Look for sharp details, strong strikes, and any weird-looking letters or numbers. If a coin seems unusually shiny and flawless, it's worth checking the date and mint mark. Remember, we're looking for 1979 with a D mint mark. If you suspect you've got something good, don't go running to a pawn shop. Take it to a certified coin grading service. PCGS and NGC are two of the biggest. They'll grade it, authenticate it, and if it's the real deal, they'll help you sell it for top dollar. Also, join some online coin forums. People love to share finds, and there are experts who can help you spot value. Plus, you'll feel a little less weird when you start saying things like double die reverse in public. The story of how a 1979 D Washington quarter went from spare change to $1.5 million treasure, all because someone paid attention. That's the beauty of coin collecting. It's part history, part mystery, and sometimes, part lottery ticket. And let me tell you, there's nothing more thrilling than the idea that the next time you break $1, you might be holding your retirement plan. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go check your pockets. Dig through your change jar. Raid the old coffee can in your garage, and while you're doing that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I've got more treasure maps disguised as videos coming your way, rare pennies, $1 million nickels, and coin collecting strategies that'll have you looking at your spare change like it's Fort Knox. If you've ever spent a rare coin by mistake or found one, drop your story in the comments. I read every single one, and who knows? Your story might be the subject of the next video.